Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to The Last Words. We've got lots of tourists around us. I've already mentioned that once or twice. I do like to mention that, I'm not going to lie. I'm joined with Harry as well. This is The Last Word. Yeah, everyone, so there's the intro. We are proud and sponsored, I was trying to say that correctly, by One Football. You can see all the wonderful stats that Newcastle, the tackles, possession stats, you name it. Newcastle have come away with a well-deserved point. And this is The Last Word. We'll hear from Eddie Howe very, very shortly. I'm joined by Harry, as you see. We'll begin with the line-up. We knew that there was no Isaac. We knew that there was no ASM. But surprisingly, we look back to the bench. Is that because of fitness issues?
I think it was reported before the game that he had a bit of an illness, so fair enough really. And for me, Joelinton starts in our best midfield, so it's between Willock and Longstaff, and I'm happy with that. I was happy with that. Joelinton's more of a battler. He's going to put a tackle in, definitely more than Willock. So yeah, I was happy to see that. But he'll probably play in midweek. I'm sure there'll be rotation.
Great to see John Shelby back on the bench, wasn't it?
Brilliant, yeah. I hope he gets some game time over the next week or so. He might not. I can't remember what Eddie Howe said, but I think a bench is a good sign. Being on the bench is a very good sign. I hope, because imagine we have Shelby, Bruno, and Joelinton in that midfield. That's our best midfield for me. So I can't wait to see him back on the pitch. Yeah,
wasn't used today, but he may be introduced on Wednesday night, whether he starts or whether he comes off the bench. But the last one before we talk about the game, left back. Surprised to see Big Dan Burn in there, not Matty Targett?
No, because I know Eddie Howe likes to keep a winning team, so that's why most players would have kept their place. So I wasn't really surprised. I thought Anthony would maybe be licking his lips coming up against Dan Burn, which we'll probably come on to later. But I wasn't too surprised because Eddie Howe likes consistency when, as long as he doesn't need to rotate. Yeah, so.
Let's talk about that first half, because Newcastle put in one hell of a performance, lots of chances. It looked like us that were going to be the team that were going to get the breakthrough. And you look at all those chances in the first half. Really, Man United had the Nick Pope leg save. Apart from that, even second half, Nick Pope didn't have much to do. But that double chance for Joelinton, off the bar again. He's got to put the rebound away, hasn't he?
Yeah, that was a real killer. That It's a very good header in the first place, a good looped header. I think hits the bar, then it comes back to him. It's basically an open goal. He's just headed it against the post. It was a gilt-edged chance, and this is where he's got to be sticking them away. Obviously, he's not playing in the forward line anymore, but he's still a bit lapsed in front of goal. And I'm thinking if Willock or if Longstaff, I think they're probably putting that second one away, and I think most people would have. So it is disappointing, and that was our best chance of the whole game. Is basically had an open goal, and we didn't create too much after that. So yeah, real shame that, I think.
Well, a lot of the ball in the final third, didn't we? And then it was the roles reversed second half. But were you surprised how? I wouldn't say not confident, because we are playing really well, but how easy we made it look against Man United in their own backyard. Or do you look at Man United and think, you know what, they were dodgy the other night?
Yeah, I didn't watch them Thursday night, but I know they struggled past Ammonia. A little bit surprised, but I think we don't fear anyone, and that's the key. We've gone to Anfield, gone 1-up. We've played against Man City at home, fantastically, drew 3-3. We don't fear anyone, and Manchester United aren't the same team as they used to be. I know you could say Erik ten Hag's building them back up, he's getting them better, but they're still not there yet, and we don't fear anyone. Eddie Howe has built us fearless, and no, not really too surprised.
Going in half time, you're not disappointed though, because I said just a few camera guns, we should be winning that at half time.
Yeah, it's just again, it's that Joelinton chance, because I think that is the one that we have to be scoring. Callum Wilson didn't really have a sniff in that first half. Jacob Murphy, I think, could have been better with his final ball. But I think we should have been ahead. For me, we kind of gave as good as we got, but we had by far the best chance. On the balance of play, it was pretty even. But Joelinton just has to score, man. He has to score.
Yeah, so half-time came. Into the second half, Man United are getting a little frustrated. We're seeing Sancho going down with a dive. We're seeing Anthony go down with a dive. Is that a sign of things to come?
Probably, yeah. It's modern football, isn't it?
They're just flinging themselves, aren't they? But what do you make? Because Man United fans will probably talk about that free kick that Nick Pope had a little touch about. Ronaldo runs in the goal, and there's all the Man United players are complaining because I think he does nudge you, but how many times that happens during a game with goalkeepers doing that? It's loads, isn't it?
Yeah. To be honest, I completely missed it. I was looking at our wonderful fans singing, so I actually missed that, and then it went in and I was like, what's happened here? And then I thought the ref got the red card out, and I thought he sent someone off, so mental. But no, yeah, happens. Yeah, he booked Ronaldo, did he? Or did he book? Yeah, so happens a lot. So
there's a guy going run selling. I'm gonna have to show you. There's a guy going run selling Brazil shirts. I don't know if you can see that on camera over there. He's standing around selling Brazil shirts. Hey, you'll do well in Newcastle, them with all the Brazilians that we've got as well. I hope they're not trying to flog Fred flags. Yeah, not great. So into the second half, as I say, Ronaldo was taken off. He got a bit of stick today, didn't he, off us lot, as he does all the time. Rashford came on, and yes, we kind of, obviously we made an early change with Fraser coming on, and then we've seen a lot of changes later for fresh legs. Like Dan Burn, I thought, was struggling in that second half against Anthony. They skinned him 3 times. But Man United, did the test Nick Pope? No, they didn't, did they?
Not really.
Pressure was there.
Yeah. There was quite a few saves. Like, well, not saves, but just shot straight at him. So it probably says Nick Pope's made 3 or 4, maybe 5 saves, but they were all pretty routine, and he really wasn't tested, to be fair. Yeah.
And as the clock starts to count down, Man United fans are sneaking out. There was the final chance, which was the gill edge chance I thought for Rashford when he heads it just wide, and my heart sank a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you, Harry. I thought, fuck, we're beaten.
Yeah, that was really good. And there was a couple of times when they just cross it into the box, and people around me were just getting nervous and frantic, and I was a little bit. There was a couple of nervy moments. Rashford also got in behind as well, and he squared it to Fred, and what an interception tackle by Fabian Schär. Who,
for me, we'll talk about players in a second, but he's man of the match for me. But well, that's it. Newcastle drew 0-0. Let's hear what Eddie Howe had to say about it.
I think especially first half, I thought we had our moments. Joe's obviously hit the woodwork twice, and that's a big moment in the game. I think Callum Wilson's penalty shout, I think, is a very strong one. We've had other moments and chances today where in the last couple of weeks we've been better with the ball around the box. We weren't quite there today, but even so, very proud of the players, very proud of what they've given the game, and really pleased with the result and the defensive performance.
So that was Eddie Howe. As he said there, he's frustrated that Newcastle didn't get 3 points because he felt that we could have went on nicked it, but came away with a point at Old Trafford. But let's talk about those. I said Fabian Schär because I thought he was a colossus. I've said it a couple of weeks now, he's first choice. Do you agree on that statement?
Yeah, I do. I think
because he's not getting any praise, is he? And everyone's lapping it on Botman every single week, and Fabian Schär's just quiet, going about his job, but he's only been rested for 1 game all season.
Yeah, and he's been immense since Eddie Howe's come in. He's been superb. He's been very consistently playing. He is the only, not the only, but he's the nailed-on starting centre back. It is obviously between Botman and Byrne at the minute if Target starts. So yeah, I think Fabian Schär is absolutely immense. He was brilliant today. So good. And
we'll both agree that, you know, Botman was, Trippier was. How do you think Bruno got on? Was he better first half?
Yeah, I think he lost a bit of energy in that second half. I think Bruno was impressive though. We've got Bruno in the middle, everyone. I'm sure you'll see just a couple of clips of that.
Yeah, that's on the vlog if you haven't seen it. We've got Bruno in the middle. He knows exactly what we need. Yeah, so you'll see that on the vlog. Plenty of chance there. But okay, so we came away with a credible point. It's a good point for Newcastle because we've got a bad history here. But you know, the games don't stop. We've got Everton in midweek. Are you with that one?
Yeah, I am.
So we've got Everton, then we've got the tricky one at Spurs. But you've mentioned just before there, Harry, the 2 Manchester clubs haven't beaten we. Well, I'm saying you mentioned it before. We shouldn't fear anyone. The 2 Manchester clubs can't beat we, haven't beat we. Liverpool needed a dodgy 98th minute winner. So we should go into this game, especially the Spurs one, not fearing it. I know they thumped with 5-1 last season, but which game do you see rotated? Is it the midweek one, or do you see it as Spurs?
I don't, to be honest, I don't see mass rotation in either. I think key players will start against Everton though, because he took Wilson and Bruno off. early. So maybe, I think they'll probably start against Everton and then maybe come off again if we're in a comfortable position. I don't see the logic in him taking Wilson and I know Bruno maybe had a knock, but I think Wilson was all right. So if because he's taken him off, I think he has to start them on Wednesday. And we'll see. I guess we'll see.
Look at them horses, man. Look at them, man.
Huge.
Yeah. All the tourists behind them, man. Lithuania supporters club, and we're going to be that one day, possibly. I shouldn't really take the mickey too much, but I will at the minute. But that's it from Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams, as I say. Man United fans are definitely not dreaming today, as we take up a valuable point. And from me and Harry from Manchester. See you later, everyone. Well, Salford actually. It's not Manchester. It's Salford. See you, everyone.